We often think presidents and prime ministers eat like kings of the past, but is that really true for everyone? In the modern day, eating for presidents is not just about healthy or luxurious food. It carries a message, especially when that eating happens in public, in front of cameras ready to broadcast it to the world. From Putin's ultra-guarded dinners to Trump's McDonald's meals, and from Obama's casual burger runs to Erdogan's review on ice cream. Every plate tells a story of power, mutual trust, and of course taste in the first place. Welcome to the food diplomacy of the 21st century, where food isn't just nourishment, it's a narrative of the political elite. And whoever masters it controls the world of populist showmanship, charisma, and leadership.
No, I gotta take it. I never take free food.
Behind those silver forks and smiling photos lies a quiet paranoia, the fear of being poisoned. For leaders, food is both a pleasure and a potential weapon. We start with Vladimir Putin, very careful about eating in public. Every bite of his food is calculated. His meals are always tested in advance by his chefs, who also serve as an elite team of bodyguards. Sometimes the inspection even begins earlier, at the moment of purchasing the food itself. That's why we often see him refuse food in public if it hasn't been tested, even when his own officials offer it. But this risk can be managed in another way, by making surprise visits. Barack Obama showed this style often. On many occasions, he was seen making sudden stops with his Vice President Joe Biden at small, unknown restaurants. It sent a clear message to the political circle around him, and it earned him quick, popular admiration. Putin also noticed this trend. During Obama's time, he tried something similar. Once he visited a suburb of a Russian town and applied this same technique, showing himself as a public food figure in Moscow. For a while, it worked, but not after that. Putin's security team increased his safety protocols fourfold. Since then, he's been limited to showing only selected, pre-tested meals, carefully planned and strictly protected. Donald Trump, on the other hand, trusts only what's factory sealed, as his love for fast food is well known. He doesn't really care about healthy food. Trump's typical meals include burgers, pizza, French fries, and so on. In terms of security measures, his team also takes great care with his food, just as Putin's team does with Putin's meals. And you might be surprised by the level of caution Kim Jong-un shows when it comes to his food. On one occasion, during his first visit to Russia's Far East, he was greeted by a group of Russian girls offering him a pancake. When they handed it to him, he appeared slightly nervous and did something that looked vague to everyone watching. To the visitors, it seemed as though he took a bite and nodded with a polite smile. But in reality, he didn't eat that piece at all. Do you know the reason? It's his security. You see, food is pleasure, sometimes even fun. But in the theater of diplomacy, it can also be the most dangerous prop of all. They say, you are what you eat. But for world leaders, it's more like you are what you're seen eating. Food, the oldest language of humanity, has now become a sharp political tool in the hands of world leaders. And when these leaders cook, they aren't just feeding themselves, they're feeding their own image. When Putin flips blini alongside Xi Jinping, it may look casual, but it's deeply choreographed. Two superpowers breaking bread to show unity beyond politics. The camera doesn't miss the smiles, the aprons, or the brotherhood over batter. Vladimir Putin has used this technique for a long time. He's been captured in cooking moments with his colleague Dmitry Medvedev since his early days in power. Later, footage surfaced showing Putin sharing breakfast with foreign counterparts. That shows how, even before 2008, Putin used shared meals to build intimacy with foreign powers. Because, as we know, sharing food means sharing a bond with the person beside you. In the United States, this idea isn't neglected either. Donald Trump followed the same trend. He has been seen cooking French fries and serving them to roadside customers.
What a beautiful woman, it's like the perfect looking person.
It's the same populist culture that many leaders embrace, because the language of food is the language of commonality. In those moments, leaders can say, I'm one of you. Whatever you eat, I eat too. That's how a bond begins between the leader and the people. Trump loves selling and promoting fast food because he genuinely eats the same kind himself.
This is fun, I could do this all day.
I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
But if we turn to rich food with a healthier, more traditional tone, we must look at Turkish cuisine. Kebabs, cheese, meat, tea, a culinary heritage proudly promoted by the Turkish government. President Erdogan is fully aware of its political and cultural value. The same can be said for Boris Johnson, who often presents himself as a comedic chef. Yet his cooking appearances reflect the classic British style of making sweet dishes, a mix of humor and heritage. Most notably, this connection between food and image was natural in Barack Obama. He often appeared before cameras with food. His narrative was powerful. He positioned himself as the dominant presence even when he was a guest at someone else's table. His food choices, combined with his confident body language, made him the most engaging person in any room. And when Putin and Obama, both charismas, met at one table, it was inevitable that sparks of comparison would fly. Both were charismatic figures who understood the symbolism of food, especially under the camera's gaze. But in truth, their shared meals didn't display conflict, rather, a tone of mutual respect. When the two leaders dined together, Putin showed Obama a level of respect, not with humbleness, but with the same confident composure he shows toward his rivals. Obama, in turn, responded with equal grace. As if the two taught us a lesson, powerful people do not mess over, at least at the food table. Food has become the softest form of hard power because when Emmanuel Macron tasted food in a remote Bangladeshi corner, it wasn't just about curiosity, it was strategy. As France has deep apparel trade with Bangladesh, and when Boris Johnson promoted Tim Tam biscuits, it wasn't random snack time. It was an edible advert for British-Australian trade ties, wrapped in humor. So when Putin makes pancakes with Xi Jinping on Russian soil, you might think it's only about fun, but no. They're making pancakes to promote red caviar salmon roe, a dish that is especially popular in Russia. Putin likely believed he could spread this element of Russian heritage to the world through his food politics. So next time you see Erdogan eating ice cream in public, think about why Turkish ice cream has relevance on the world stage. You see, same food, but a different angle. Now think why Trump promotes fast food and McDonald's. It carried a message to American capitalism, speed and abundance, all framed as patriotism. In food politics, menus are manifestos, and the table is the new battlefield. Every leader knows the quickest way to someone's loyalty might just be through their stomach. When you see the powerful Putin sitting with the less powerful Lukashenko of Belarus, eating together with fruits and strawberries and casually chit-chatting, what do you think at first? You have to understand that at a time when no one was on Putin's side, he just made a political play sitting with Lukashenko, just showing enough food in the table to deliver his message. Showing off with food isn't about vanity. Rather, it's a communication strategy every leaders use to deliver their message.
No, I gotta take it. I never take free food.
Obama refusing free food and insisting on paying a quiet message to domestic audiences. I'm honest and grounded. There's no need for special treatment from me. It also communicated exactly what he needed to say to his Republican critics. Sometimes, leaders chit-chat at a food table with notable guests, like Khabib Nurmagomedov with Putin. Putin congratulated his victory while keeping a full spread of food on the table. Clear enough, he wanted to align himself with the champion's popularity, and the world would interpret the rest. This is also why China's Xi invited Putin onto his special bullet train, speeding over 300 kilometers per hour while offering him a cup of tea. Everything there was a clear message. Nothing more, nothing less. Because every leader knows the world watches what they eat, even more than what they sign on paper. Not every leader can make food look powerful. It takes charisma with the unseen spice of leadership. You have to take note. Putin and Xi, both powerful and both in opposition to the West, share similarities. But what comes naturally to Putin with food is rare in Xi Jinping. Putin goes fishing shirtless, like a teenage boy, smiling when he catches the big Russian northern pike. He also shows cheerful excitement when he discovers a rare mushroom species in the far corners of Siberia, proudly showing it to the camera. How many leaders have you seen do this? Of course, many other leaders do similar things on occasion, but this quality is inherent in very few people. The only real comparison is Obama. He appeared in a Wild Adventure episode with Bear Grylls on one occasion, and he has countless photo shoots involving food. But for others, showing themselves with food in front of cameras is not that natural or motivational. But it has become a game changer for those who understand it. Putin's first companion in these food moments was Medvedev, but now he has many companions for his food journeys. Look at what he does when he travels to Siberia to pick berries. He takes his defense minister with him to build a personal bond. Putin shares food with army members, and this simple act creates a powerful bond. Eating together breaks hierarchy and signals trust, unity, and loyalty. Soldiers see a leader who sits beside them, eats what they eat, and respects their daily reality. And that builds connection no speech can replace. But not all leaders can do things with food, even if it seems easy. First, many avoid the camera. Second, not everyone understands the political language of food. And third, even those who understand it may not have the natural ability to express warmth or authenticity. If it isn't inside you, you can't show it, right? You see, that is the reason why so many leaders exist around the world, and very few understand the symbolism of food in power. Of course, whoever learns it masters the charisma needed in today's populist leadership.